Time to get back into the electrics tray and start welding these guys up. For anybody who's interested in getting one of these metal bending machines, they're super handy for little projects. Like you can see, it's 300mm internal, so you can bend anything from 300mm long, but you also have the added advantage in actually removing these little guys as well. So if you have something you want to bend this way that's also got a little bit of a return on it, you can take one of these teeth out. The company that does these also does the rollers, so if you want to make something like this but you want to actually roll it so it's got a bit of a curve to it, I'm going to have to curve this, but I don't have one of those, so something that I probably will get in the future. They're not very expensive, so if you're sick of trying to bend steel with a vise and hammer and you want a nice professional job, definitely recommend it. Handy little thing that you just pretty much throw on your bench vise and off you go. So I'm going to leave a link in the description for this thing if you want to get one for yourself, and check it out. I'm actually really happy with how that fits. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to mount it yet, and but yeah, it just pretty much follows the line of this perfectly. This just needs to be lifted up a little bit, like a tad. Kind of looks a little bit like Frankenstein with all those welds, but once I completely weld that out and then grind it flush, it'll look absolutely awesome. So yeah, pretty happy how that turned out. I just hope it's big enough to house everything that I need, because that would suck if it's not. And I do need to make it a little bit bigger for whatever reason. I can always cut this back, make this longer, and obviously bring this back to here somewhere and make the actual tray a little bit longer. It doesn't need to be deeper because I think I can get everything in there, but I could make it a little bit longer if I needed to. So one of the things that's going to be coming up is I'm going to be doing a chop somewhere around here, and I'll be doing the hoop. I'm getting a hoop custom made, which I'll share with you in a later video. But for now, what I've decided to do is take this rear end off. I'm going to take the wheel off. I'm going to take these shocks off and dismantle the rear swing arm and just pull it all apart and just clean it right up, and then I'll put it all back on again, and then all I have to do then is pretty much the middle section, which is obviously the engine, and getting that all sorted out, which then I can tie in the wiring, get the wiring sorted. But before I start any of that, I've now surpassed 10,000 subscribers, and it's a pretty amazing thing to think that there's over 10,000 people that are interested in watching what I'm doing, which is just blows my mind. And the comments that come in, it just inspires the crap out of me to come back out in this garage and shoot more videos and share the process with you. But with that, I want to actually give back to a couple of guys who have been putting in some seriously hard work. So one of the guys that I want to give a shout out to is, his name is Anthony, and he probably needs no introduction. He has a channel called For The Bold. He is an inspiration to a lot of guys to actually build motorcycles, to get in the garage and just start doing whatever you can do with the tools that you have. He doesn't just do motorcycles, he's now starting to get into vlogging as well, like motor vlogging. And I believe his background as a graphic designer. He's done a couple of really cool videos on Photoshop and how to use Photoshop, because obviously it's the platform that he's been using for many years. He's damn good at it, and he steps you through the process of taking a photo of your bike and then using that photo to actually manipulate the different seat and the tank, and changing things the way you want them, the colors, just changing the height, changing the wheels. He goes through the entire process of how to do it before you even start working in the garage, and before you even start on the bike, or even before you even purchase a bike. So I'll leave a link to that video that I'm talking about, which is how to design a cafe racer on Photoshop, because it's really handy to actually have those skills on Photoshop to be able to do something similar to that. So another guy who I want to give a shout out to, who may need an introduction, and his channel name is Combustion Junction. I've been watching him for a while, I've been watching his videos, and I comment on a lot of them, and he just is really good at editing and putting it all together. He is building a cafe racer from his garage, and he's just showing the process similar to what I do, and just has a really unique way of putting the videos together. So if you haven't checked him out, I'll leave a link for him as well in the description. So that's just two amazing guys putting in some awesome work. And if you haven't followed either of them, I suggest you do. Hit the subscribe button, give them a like. Anyway, we've got a bit of work to do now, so I've got to pull this thing apart, and let's get stuck into it.